Welcome to day 3. You know I love being here and sharing with you everything that I've got for you today. And I have some doozies for you today. Hope you all can hear me. Let me know in the chat. Good afternoon, Annette. Hey, Emmy. All right. I love that. 2 days and you're already sleeping better. Isn't it amazing how fast everything can change? So today we're on day 3 and I have a question for you. So the question is, how many chemicals per day does the average woman put on her skin? Take a guess, and I want you to put it in the chat. How many guesses? 10, 20, 50, 100, 200? How many do you think how many chemicals do we put on our skin every single day? And we're talking about makeup, what we're washing in, what we're using. How many chemicals? Just kind of put in there. Any kind of guess is great. All right, here we're going to go. Here we are, 168, right? 168 chemicals every day the average woman is putting on her skin. Now, that's just average, and this is according to the Environmental Working Group. So, this is a wonderful resource that you can use. So, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I hope you can see my screen really well. So, just a reminder, I'm Dr. Susan Lavelle. For those of you who don't know me yet, I was a former ballerina for many years, went into plastic surgery for many, many more, and then I had a life change and I went into what I do now, which is what I am so passionate about and why I'm here today, which is lifestyle health, lifestyle medicine, teaching you how to make the lifestyle changes in your life that will make all of the difference. So Emmy was just talking about, she's already sleeping better. It's amazing how quickly we can do that, right? Right? 168, yes. So let's go on. This is that 4-step process. So we did number 1, we did control appetite. We did how do we release that fat from cells? Today we're going to be talking about now the cells, we've released the fat. What do we do with it? How do we clear it safely? And then tomorrow, the big day, we're going to be talking about activating fat burning. So let's recap on what we already know. Number 1, with fat releasing from those cells. Remember, we talked about the hormones that are so important. Insulin is one of them. And if we want our cells to be sensitive to insulin. So when there's blood sugar and things, we want to get it into the cells so that we can have energy. We want to optimize our cortisol levels because when we're stressed, cortisol goes up, a lot of other things go up as well, and it's not a good thing. So we want to optimize those levels. Gently stretching throughout the day to start mobilizing that fat and practicing stress reduction techniques. So on today's agenda, today we're going to learn about number 1, why you're feeling tired and groggy sometimes. You're doing the things you're supposed to do. You supposedly should feel better, but maybe you're not. And why is that happening? We're going to talk about that. We're going to be talking about the key hormones that we need to get the fat and the toxins out of our body, get them out through our kidneys, through our GI system, through our lungs, through our skin. What are the things that we can get these toxins out? Number 3, the specific foods. So every day I'm giving you some wonderful choices that you can start adding into your nutrition. Notice I didn't say diet because we're not dieting anymore. What we're doing is changing our nutritional lifestyle, the strategies, and then the challenge for today. All right. So, secret number 3 is we want to start releasing fat and toxins from our body, or how are we going to detox our body to make our body safe and happy? So, when we think of toxins, what do we normally think of? We think of, all of the crazy, smokestacks and all of the things that are out there. But just a few minutes ago, we saw how important it is what we actually do to ourselves, what we actually put on our skins every single day. And now that's on the external aspect. But guess what? Our body makes toxins too. So if we're not clearing them, so for instance, even things it's supposed to have, like estrogen, if we have too much estrogen in our bodies, it becomes almost toxic to us. There are bacterial toxins that are made, and we got to clear these things out. So we're talking about the normal estrogens. We're talking about xenoestrogens. Those are the things that are out there. And then we're going to talk about phytoestrogens as well and what each one means. Now, phytoestrogens, the xenoestrogens are all of those things that we're putting on our skin, the things we're cleaning with. All of these things actually mimic estrogen. And why that's a problem, we're going to go into right now. Because of what something that we call estrogen dominance. Now, remember, if you're going through perimenopause, menopause, any of those states, all of our, and it's supposed to, this is what we're supposed to do, our levels of estrogen and progesterone, testosterone, all of these start to lower. And that's for a particular reason. Our body knows best. But estrogen and progesterone are used to being in conjunction with each other. They're kind of in great balance. When this all starts, though, progesterone starts decreasing faster than estrogen does. And when that happens, what happens? They start having this imbalance, okay? And now we've got elevated estrogen relative to our normal progesterone levels. And so what do we start having? This is when all of the mood swings. So those of you who did the quiz, the mood swings, the headaches, insomnia, this gets to be a huge thing. And this the poor woman right here having one of those hot flashes. This is not so much just because estrogen is low, but because it's fluctuating at this time. So we want to know, how do we actually start smoothing these things out so that we go through this period of life with grace? Okay. Now, I'm not showing you this because I want you to learn it, but I want you to understand how complicated our bodies are and what they do. This is just one of the pathways of the steroid pathways. Now, just imagine how many other hormones we have, and so many things make them increase and decrease. It's an amazing thing. Don't even worry about this. I've learned it all for you. We'll go into that later. So, what are the specific strategies that we want to look at as far as getting rid of all of the toxins that our body's making? So when we lose weight, what happens? We're releasing fat, but fat has toxins stored in it. That's where a lot of toxins store, fat and in our liver, fat cells in our liver. And so now it's in the bloodstream, but we don't want it there. We want it out. So what do we want to do? We want to start doing detoxification and estrogen balance. These are the specific foods: the broccoli, the cauliflower, cabbage. Anybody know what these are called in general? What type of vegetables? Cruciferous vegetables. Okay, so cruciferous vegetables are wonderful as far as getting our hormones back in balance. Now, I want to make sure that, especially if you have anything going on with thyroid, and we'll be talking about that tomorrow, if there's anything going on with the thyroid, you don't want to eat a lot of these raw. So make sure that they are cooked, or at least baked or roasted or something of that sort. Number two, we want the antioxidants. So we want to be able to clear these things out safely. Things like asparagus, white and green tea, apples. Remember I said from yesterday, apples, you're going to eat them. You're going to eat them organic, because if they're not, a lot of toxins are on them. We also want the probiotics. So apple cider vinegar, like we talked about before, fermented foods like sauerkraut, and then yogurt, real yogurt, not the stuff that's got all the crazy colors in it and all of the sugar. We want real yogurt with real cultures, okay? And then finally, we want B12 and folate. These are some of the nutrients that our body needs to be able to detoxify things and shove them out of our body when we don't want them. Things that have that B12 and folate: tuna, beef, crab, asparagus. We know those things as well. And so here are our meals for today. For blueberry smoothie with flax seeds. Remember, I had mentioned if you're going to have flax seeds, you don't want to have them ground because they do tend to get a little rancid quickly. So leave them in the seed form until you're actually going to put it into something. Then you grind it up as you're going. A beet citrus salad with mixed seeds, things like pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds. All of these things are a wonderful thing that we can do. And then for dinner, a lot of times when we think about fatty fish, we automatically go to salmon. Okay, and salmon is wonderful, but guess what? There are so many other equally delicious fatty fishes, yeah, that we can incorporate into our meals. And so one of the things that I love is actually mackerel. You may not have even had it, but you can saute it. It's got a delicious, you can make the skin really crispy, mix it with tomatoes and olives like you're coming out of the Mediterranean. It's a wonderful meal. So those are the things there. Okay. What else can you be doing as far as detoxification? We want to make sure that we're reading labels, okay? Whatever you're putting in your body, remember those 168 chemicals? Start looking at labels, okay? Start looking at what's going on, right? Because if you see certain things like BPH and BHA and BHT and all of the things that we don't want into in our bodies, we want to be able to know that they're there. We don't want extra hormones. We want to be able to have a clean system going forward. Choose wisely. So a lot of times you may even, if you're not even using traditional makeup, if you're wearing makeup, you may say, okay, well, I'm going to wear a mineral. Well, even with those, you want to take a look at what those are, because sometimes the minerals have a lot of talc in them, TALC. And you may think that that's great, but it's not so great to put on your skin. So really choose wisely, even when you think you're using something that's a little bit higher quality. And hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And the reason for this is these toxins are here. Right now, we got to flush them out, and we want to flush them out through our GI system, through our kidneys as well. That's one of the reasons why, if you go for a massage or some kind of thing where they're stimulating blood flow and stimulating lymphatic flow, what is the first thing they tell you to do? Go hydrate. And this is why you want to flush those things out as soon as possible. Now, so in general, what are we doing for flushing these toxins? Number one, we want to support our liver, our kidney, and our gut, as well as our lungs and our skin, right? We want phytoestrogens, not the xeno. So the phytoestrogens are all of those plants we were just talking about, the cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower and broccoli. These are the things that are going to start clearing our bodies of the excess estrogen that can be causing issues, but as well as the bad estrogens, well, the xenoestrogens, which can cause havoc. And I just realized I didn't even explain to you why that happens. Well, the xenoestrogens will hook onto the same receptors on cells as regular estrogens, but they're much more powerful sometimes. So now, not only is our regular estrogen not working, but the xenoestrogens are making us even more frazzled, even more, uncomfortable, because they're not doing the job that they should be doing. We want to reverse constipation. Now, I'm going to share with you, okay, something that I hear a lot when I ask, and I do specifically ask how often someone is going to the bathroom, because this is not something we think we talk about for the most part. And I can't tell you how many people, how many women have come to me and feel that it's normal to have a bowel movement once a week. I think the max was once every 2 weeks. Once every 2 weeks. That is not cool, okay? Think about it. If you had garbage, if you had really smelly garbage, when you put it in your little trash can, would you leave it there overnight? Probably not even overnight if it's really smelly enough. But would you leave it there for a week or 2 weeks? Yeah, no. Emmy says, absolutely not. You're taking that trash out every single night because it's smelly. It's not good for you and your house. Well, guess what? The things that are in your body need to be taken out every day, at least once a day, and sometimes 2 and 3 times a day. So that's one thing. If you are constipated, and I'm saying if you're not going at least once a day on a routine basis, then yes, this is you. I'm talking to you. Okay. Stay well hydrated, and then get saunas and fresh air. So those two things, the saunas are for your skin to help you sweat, to get things out of your body in a different way. And then that fresh air is your lungs. So these are all of the things that are clearing these toxins that we're putting out every single day. Okay. And so today's challenge is sweat. Go and sweat. So if you have access to a sauna like this, perfect, wonderful. If you don't, even just getting in a hot shower and letting the water steam there and getting yourself sweating that way, or do a workout, something where you're increasing your heart rate and getting that sweat going. But you want to sweat. That's going to help get some of these toxins out as well. Okay. So As I said, every single day, there is a lot more to this. And now I'm actually going to be sharing something with you. We talked about day one. We talked about, appetite control. We talked about releasing fat from the cells. Today, we talked about releasing it from the body. And I want to share with you, because remember that hormone picture, that was very, very, very complicated. So I want to share with you what the lean hormone solution really is, what I have developed after years and years and years that is going to help control the appetite, release the stored fat, clear the toxins safely, and then activate that fat burning. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow, but I want you to start thinking about it today, okay? Now, what does it take? Many of us have been through programs and diets, even though we're not using that word anymore. We've been through so many things that may even have worked for a short period of time, but then we slip away and we step away and we stop doing what we know actually works. And why is that? Right? We need three things. We need the three C's, as I say, for something to succeed long term. The first thing is we need clarity. We need to know exactly what we're doing. We need to know that there is a path that we can get to, that we're not just kind of stumbling around in the dark. Number two, we need to be committed to that path, right? And a lot of that has to do with self love. It has to do with loving yourself enough to stick with it when it gets hard. Because guess what? After the honeymoon period of whatever change it is, there's going to be a hard period where you're going to want to quit. I guarantee you. And so that's where the commitment comes in. That's where loving yourself enough to stick with it comes in. And the third thing is having that confidence, being confident that if you have the clarity, if you commit to it and stick with it, that you will see the results that you want. And I can actually guarantee that. I can literally guarantee if you stick with it, you will succeed. The only people who don't are the ones who give up. Okay. So, this is the lean hormone solution that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be supporting you over the course of 6 weeks. And this is something that I would like to share with you. 6 weeks, you're not dieting anymore. Just as I mentioned before, take that word out of your vocabulary. We are never dieting again in life. We are changing our nutritional lifestyle, period. You're going to have increased energy. You're going to be sleeping better. Emmy was already saying she's already sleeping better with just 2 days of making some changes in what she's putting in her body. We're going to drop kick those long hours of cardio because guess what? When we're in that age group, 40 plus, we don't need to do a lot of cardio anymore. As a matter of fact, it's not good for us to do a lot of cardio anymore. As a matter of fact, Jane Fonda said, a little while ago that she wished she had known then when she was in her 40s what she knows now, because she was one of those very high, high energy and was always doing the cardio, and realize that when you get past a certain age, yes, you do want to do some cardio, you want to bring it up, but that cannot be the only thing that you're doing. And so we're going to kick that to the curb and show you what to do instead. And we want you to start feeling calm, relaxed, and more balanced because that lowers our stress levels. And we all know what happens when we reduce stress, we reduce cortisol, and all the bad things that cortisol can do to and for us start to go away. Okay? This isn't your cookie cutter class. It's not going to be everybody's doing exactly the same thing because guess what? That doesn't work. It has to be something where you are able to design exactly what's going on for you. And that's what we're going to show you how to do. How do you take those specific 4 things we're talking about? The appetite, the fat release, the fat detoxification, and activating hormones. How do we get those actually working? And then finally, these are the things that are actually going to be in it. Refresh, cleanse. So when I say a cleanse, we are not, we're not doing some crazy thing. You saw what the meals are like. What they are gentle meals to start incorporating the specific nutrients that you need for the specific hormonal changes you need to make in your body, right? You're going to lose those cravings. That's that appetite control. We're going to be clearing out the unwanted toxins. We're going to be activating those fat burning hormones. And like Emmy already said, we're going to be sleeping better and we're going to feel so much more calm. Okay. And this is what Sarah found. Within 2 weeks, she was starting to have the energy that she needed. Previously, she was working at the desk. She had young children, right? She was working at her desk. And by the time she finished work, she was exhausted. She didn't have the time, she didn't have the energy, rather, to be the mother that she wanted to be. Within 2 weeks, she had more focus. She was more productive. She finished work quicker. And therefore, she had more time for her child. Okay. The second thing we're having in there is Snacks Life Fitness. This is David Allen. I don't think I ever even introduced him before. He is our certified personal trainer. He is also a weight loss special and now a performance enhancer. So he's the guy who's going to show you what do you do when you're sitting at a desk all day long, and you don't have time or don't want to have to get up early or go to the gym late. Or what if you're traveling a lot? What do you do with these kind of things? We're going to start with you working with him so that you'll know what to do. And Chrissy was one of our early clients, and she said again, just within a few weeks, she'd been trying to do it all on her own, was starting to see a difference with muscle tone, with strength, and doing things she was never able to do before. We're going to give you targeted recipes and guides. So, like I said, this is not cookie cutter. If your issue is with appetite, we're going to focus on giving you that 6 weeks of meals for appetite control. If it's more the detoxification and getting rid of inflammation, and I saw a lot of that on the quizzes that some of you have sent in. If you want to increase that, if you want to get rid of inflammation, we will target that. And this is what Lynn was saying, that the inflammation is gone. Okay, that the joint pain, the aching, the muscle aches, the fatigue, gone. All right. We're going to be teaching you how to reduce stress in different ways, not just, okay, sit with your legs crossed and meditate, because not everyone can, well, everyone can, but not everyone wants to meditate. So we're going to teach you different ways to be able to get into that calm state without, even if you've never meditated before. And Lisa Brown, who I love and has actually worked with us as far as sharing some of these techniques, says she loves these practices. We're going to give you an onboarding call so that you know exactly. So don't you hate when you sign up for something and that's the last time you see somebody? I know I do. We are there for you the entire 6 weeks. All right. So one, it's the Snacks Life. Two, we got the meal plans and everything, stress reduction, and the VIP calls and everything. Okay. So if all of this did is 6 weeks, right? 6 weeks out of your life to change your life. If all this did was give you your first steps, what would it be worth to you? I mean, it took me thousands of dollars in 10 years to get from where I was in 2008 to where I am today. And I want to shortcut that for you. This is what I love doing. I want to shortcut that for you. And this is what's all included. So, as I mentioned, the cleanse, Snacks Life, the recipes, the classes, private Facebook group, you add all of that up together, 1538. But as I said, this is my love. And I want to do this for all of you who are here today. So it is 497. Okay. What's it worth to you? Like I said, what's it worth to you to be able to play with your children again, like what we just talked about, or being so productive at work that you're done quickly. And when friends ask, let's go out and play, or let's go out and have a great time, you've got the energy to do that. When the weight starts coming off, you're no longer struggling with your appetite or fatigue or energy. And then, when you've got it there for whoever you love in your life, whoever that is, you need to be there for them the same way that they're there for you, right? And so for those of you who are here today and watching this right now or watching this on the replay, I want to be able to do a bonus for you. And that first bonus is I will review whatever labs you have for the last year. Okay. Normally when I do this, it is $697. So I will review those labs. I'll look at them for optimal levels, not just, they're normal, right? I want the optimal levels for you. What do your levels need to be at for you to be at peak performance? And then if you need specific testing, especially with hormones, I will give you recommendations for those. Okay. And this is what Kelly was finding. She was going to her primary care, and I'm not knocking them. I'm not even knocking endocrinologists. But if you're going time after time after time and you're exhausted and you keep hearing that your labs are fine, well, then maybe they're really not. And what we found with her is that she hadn't had a full thyroid panel. And we'll be talking a little bit about that tomorrow. She had low thyroid, which we found on a full panel. Okay. You also get a copy of my book. You can see it in the background, Thrive, the 5-week guide to mastering your energy at any age. A wonderful addition to everything. You'll save some trees because, we'll give you a digital copy as well. So join us. This is everything that's included again. Carrie was saying no more hot flashes. Again, within a month and a half, no more hot flashes because now her hormones were working for her. All right. So these are the kind of things that we see. And this is one of my favorite sayings. In a year, you're either going to be where you want to be or still wishing you were. So what are the changes you're going to make starting today to see those kind of things, right? Everything that's included, $497 for the 6 weeks, 6 weeks of working with us, getting the answers to your whatever your hormone issues are so that you can finally activate your hormones for weight loss, right? You can get it now. This is where it is. I will put it in the chat so that you can have it. I'll also download the link elsewhere so that people can get it a little bit later. But this is where you go to purchase that link, right? Again, what's included, and you can buy again now, right there. All right, so this is it, what I have for today. Does anyone have any questions, anything you want to know about hormones and detoxification? Because it's huge. As a matter of fact, if we could start, even though most people want to start with appetite because you're hungry and everything, if we get our detoxification under control, if we get our estrogen and we're clearing things out on a regular basis, we do so much better. So much better. Okay, I do believe that might be it for today. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow is all about how do we activate those fat burning hormones. I know a lot of you have been like, holding on, waiting for that one because that's the one everybody wants. How do you turn it on? How do you start actually losing weight while you sleep? And that's what we're going to be sharing tomorrow. All right, have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I look even more forward to having you join me for that 6 weeks for the Lean Hormone Solution. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye-bye.